Something else we're following this morning involves something that a lot of you have been talking about in our community. We've been covering them from Paulding County to DeKalb County. Data centers. It is a hot topic, not just here in Georgia, but across the state. And we've also seen this at the national level. President Trump announcing a new promise to make companies pay for the soaring energy costs as data centers are popping up here in Georgia. And as I said, all across the country, the centers have become a contention for many communities. And so there are concerns, of course, over noise, water, and power usage. That is always one of the big ones as well. So NBC's Alice Barr has more from Washington on what the president is now proposing.
Hi there. More than 3,000 data centers that power AI have been built across the country, bringing backlash from many communities and leaving local, state, and now federal leaders scrambling to respond. In the national reckoning over artificial intelligence, the massive data centers needed to fuel the AI boom have become a flashpoint of their own. And across the country,
I went door to door. Everybody is extremely against this.
Local communities are fighting back against their construction.
It just changes the entire environment right now. Right now, it's beautiful, it's peaceful.
On Thursday, President Trump announced a new pledge seeking to keep surrounding home and business owners from bearing higher electricity costs because of the huge amount of energy the rapidly growing number of centers requires.
It's only fair that the cost of building the new infrastructure required to meet this demand should be borne by the corporations themselves, not by the American consumers.
The president said nearly 200 stakeholders have signed the pledge, from utility companies to developers and 23 governors, all Republican. New York's Democratic Governor Kathy Hochul is now the first to sign a statewide moratorium on data center development for a year.
We're not just going to get swept up in this Wild West gold rush. We're going to step back and make sure we're not hurting communities in the process.
She cited concerns about power and water usage and environmental impacts that local governments nationwide have been wrestling with, from a pause and new task force in Charlotte, North Carolina, to a moratorium in Marion County, Indiana.
This is my kids' future. This is the future of our planet.
While President Trump points to new jobs and competition.
If we don't do this, we're going to be left behind
in the global AI race. Recent analysis by the consulting firm ICF estimates that utility bills could rise by as much as 40% over the next 4 years if the cost to power new data centers is passed on to consumers. The growing concerns now a big issue in the upcoming midterm elections. In Washington, I'm Alice Barr. Back to you.